YouTube have started going after VTuber clipping channels because they want to keep the platform safe for people and content creators. Given the history of YouTube's lack of proactive actions, it is very doubtful that they are concerned about the safety of people or content creators. And I asked Google's AI. I'm using Google's AI because they own YouTube. Are VTubers a threat to YouTube? No. All this gibberish here, all this boils down to no, they're not a threat to YouTube. That means they're not a threat to the safety of people coming to YouTube to watch their content. So, why are we going after VTuber clipping channels? There is supposedly some challenges with VTuber clipping channels that pose a threat to YouTube. It boils down to copyright and reuse content. YouTube, I hate to tell you this, a lot of people do that, and they just don't call themselves clippers. That's all. I mean, your slop content creators reuse content all the time. All the time. Why aren't you going after them? They watch videos from news organizations. They use videos from other platforms of other content creators. They reuse multiple sources of media. Why aren't you going after them? Because it's transformative? Well, here's the problem, Mr. and Mrs. YouTube. Uh, Most of these clipping channels have permission from the content creator to do it because it brings attention to that content creator, which in turn means they get more viewers, which means if they're streaming on YouTube, they make you more money. Plus, you can get advertising twice. What's the problem if you did this all on your own? No one copyright strike these channels. You did this all on your own out of no logical reason other than appearance of impropriety. But when it's made clear that everything's above board, you still terminate their channel. It's another question to the Google AI. Are VTuber clipping channels a threat to the safety of YouTube? Now, understand, safety means that there's a risk of harm. Uh, Copyright infringement, well, the content creator will strike a channel and then YouTube can take action. So that's not a threat. The only threat is that YouTube doesn't police their own platform. Misrepresentation, misinformation. I hate to tell you, YouTube, it's not just clipping channels that are doing that. This is a rampant thing on your platform, and you're going for the small fish in the pond. You think anybody's going to feel threatened by that? Why aren't you going after the big fishes? Well, we'll get to that reason in a minute. And all this stuff, this doesn't have to do with the safety of the platform. I hate to tell you, while not exclusive to VTubers, the anonymity inherent in VTuber world can potentially attract predators who can exploit clips for inappropriate purposes, particularly involving child VTubers. According to Wikipedia, YouTube, you're taking advice from Wikipedia? parasocial relationships, and harassment. That's true with any type of content creator, whether it be male or female. Parasocial relationships will happen because no, there's some really lonely people desperate for human contact and they'll latch on to anybody. And there are also some that have mental issues, but that's not really a threat to the platform, is it? Because you never cared about the safety of content creators to begin with, YouTube. Or what, when they admit of doing things wrong, you don't do anything. So what's this concerned about safety? What are you really concerned about? They're gonna make for you? Oh yeah, they're gonna make you pretty damn good amount of money. Rough estimates by 2033, about $60 billion. You can look this up. You can literally ask Google AI the estimate of how much profit that YouTube stands to make from VTubers and VTuber clipping channels. $60 billion in 7 years. That's a lot of money, but that's a low ball estimate. I would dare to say it would be closer to anywhere from 60 to $100 billion that YouTube stands to make from VTubers, because it's not even done getting larger. They're just now starting to hit the mainstream. So basically, YouTube is kind of fucking themselves over. Even have an actual explanation where a clipping channel, Flippin' Filian, so YouTube just took down my Clipper channel with over 150K subs in an instant, no warning, no nothing. At Team YouTube, all videos on my channel featuring Filian were made with her full permission. I work under her as a clipper. Please bring it back up. And he at Filian. They didn't. Why? They're lazy. They don't want to contact Filian and find out if the statement's true because they're lazy. They don't want to do any actual research or work. Is YouTube concerned about? They're concerned about money. They're concerned about advertiser money. The safety of the advertiser money. Are they concerned about the people who come and watch videos? No. And I can prove it. Are they concerned about safety of their content creators, their well-being mentally, or if their life can be put in danger? No. And I can prove it. YouTube doesn't care about safety in the human sense. They care about the safety of their money from advertisers. That's all they care about. That's their history. They don't care about people. Google AI, give me examples of content prohibited by YouTube community guidelines. Well, spam and deceptive practices. Well, they're rampant on YouTube. YouTube, do you know why people use ad blockers? The real reason, not just to block out ads, to block out pop ups. Pop ups that are also paid by con men, companies that want to steal money from people. And they give Google money to have advertising across the board on multiple websites, including YouTube, that will direct them to a video where they'll try to convince them to take part in a pyramid scheme or some other product, or just flat out steal the money from them with promises of success. You allow it. They pay you for this advertisement. That's why people use ad blockers. That's how it all started. Don't you get it? And you do nothing to prevent it because you're getting paid money to allow it to happen. You don't do any research into these things. All you see is dollar signs and you go, okay, like a hooker, or better yet, a stripper at a bar. As long as they get dollar bills, they'll keep dancing. And that's what you're kind of doing, YouTube. You're getting the dollar bills, you keep on dancing, and let the scammers advertise on your channels. Use AdSense to hook people in to get scammed. You don't look into anything. You're not proactive at all in this case. Let's go down here. Child safety. We'll get to that one later. Nudity and sexual content. Really? Really? Let's see how well they do about that. I'd say not too good. Yeah, thumbnails are a very minor thing, but they exist and they expose children to sexual images. And YouTube does nothing about it. Now, let me make it something perfectly clear. I don't think terminating channels is the best way of doing things, to be honest with you. YouTube does very little to prevent children from being exposed to sexual images. Those thumbnails aren't age restricted, they're in full view for all ages to see that whole channel. There's a lot of thumbnails like that that minor children can see. Does YouTube age restrict the whole channel? No, because that means they have to do something proactive. Even if you report these thumbnails, nothing's done. Hey, we don't think it's wrong. Yeah, we'll get into that later. But the point being, you, I'm not saying terminate that channel. I'm saying that terminating a channel does nothing. As someone that worked as a 1099, as someone that worked as a 1099, that's what content creators are. They're not employed by YouTube, Google, or Alphabet. They are 1099 contractors that put content on YouTube with the expectation eventually of being successful. Know how to discipline a 1099, and it isn't terminating a channel or termination in general. Most contracting companies know the best method, and it's very simple, which is kind of surprising. No, it isn't. That it's not surprising at all that YouTube hasn't come up with this. And when they do, they do it half-assed. You take their money away. You take monetization away, and you do it in a way that it creates a major impact. That channel I just showed you, take his monetization away for 30 days until, and if he doesn't fix those thumbnails, well, Then you do it for another 60 days after the first 30 days is over with. So a total of 90 days if he doesn't fix things in the first 30. And no, even after he fixes it, you don't go automatically go back to monetization in 2 weeks. No, he has to ride out that 30 days, make an impact, and it'll get the attention of other content creators who have done similar things. Well, everybody did it. That's not an excuse. The bad thing is, this is after apocalypse, and you allowed it to continue. I should feel that children are being exposed to sexual images, not just on this channel, on multiple channels, and you allow it to happen for years. That, oh, there's no genitalia. How stupid do you think people are? That they can't figure out what is going on. You have an anime character, a character that children above the age of 10 are most likely familiar with, getting anal from a train. Yeah, it sounds funny. But the same thing is, the factual truth is, that is a sexual image that you're exposing children for. Then you have a content creator, Gargura, who was a much larger content creator than that person. And this shows how much respect YouTube has for VTubers. Of being raped. Oh, the penises aren't there, but the fetish headgear is. You're going to tell me you can't look at that image and not know what's going on, with tears running down her face and everything like that. She's not going to the fucking dentist. Something bad is happening. And I know this is hard for you to understand or put any effort in. Try a reverse image search and you'll see the actual picture, and you allow that on your platform. Safety? Okay, we're going to allow a content creator to be humiliated by another content creator, regardless if it's a VTuber, quote unquote, anime girl, or an actual person who's has a defect of being forcibly raped. Is that what needs to happen for you to actually do something? To say this is not acceptable. We don't allow this on our platform. Now, this is not in the scope of things I'm going to show you in this video. It's a minor thing, but it's a pattern of behavior. These minor things eventually lead to worse things. Because it's funny. Well, if you think forcible rape is funny or acceptable, you have problems. If you think showing images of an anime girl getting anal from a train and allowing that to be out there for minor children to see, you have problems. If you think having an image of a 16-year-old anime character masturbating in front of a computer with porn images on it and having that image exposed to minor children, you think that's funny and cute? Well, you have a problem. Like the person who posted those images, who allowed those images to be used in his thumbnails. He has a problem. But like I said, in the grand scheme of things, and the things I found and I'm going to use in this video, they're minor. Take his monetization away for 30 days and tell him to change his damn thumbnails and make it last 30 days. I decided to ask the AI, what happens when you report a YouTube channel? Well, it's anonymous reporting. They don't know who you are, which I think is a fucking mistake, to be honest with you. If you're going to report something, your name better be on file. Why? False reporting, loss of income, loss of reputation. I want to sue somebody. Give me their goddamn name. Review process. YouTube reviews reported videos 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Right. I believe that one. This is the company that says they can't hire enough people to police their own platform. I don't think they do it, to be honest, because half the stuff that's on YouTube wouldn't be there. Potential outcomes. No violation found. If the review team doesn't find any violation, the channel is and its content remains on YouTube. Multiple reports don't automatically trigger a removal if there's no violation. So basically, YouTube approves rape content and artwork on their platform and having minor children exposed to sexual images. They approve of that. So according to YouTube, you all can go out there and do that shit now. Because they're not going to take any action against you. Because remember, terms of service is for everybody, no matter the sub count. Right? If you believe that, I got a bridge in New York I want to sell you. I think that when the violations are found, I think the first step is demonetization for 30 days. Because it sends a message that we're not going to tolerate this. This needs to be fixed. Fix it, and your monetization is going to come back. If not, we're going to do it for another 60 days. Because at that point, most likely, if they're not unwilling to change it, they're going to terminate. They're going to nuke their own channel at that point because they're not going to make any money. Why put content on a place where they're not going to be able to earn a living? They'll go to Twitch. They'll go to Rumble. They'll go to Locals. They'll go to Kick. YouTube, you're not the only platform. I hate to tell you this. You're not the only platform. You're the only platform that you can upload content to right now. That may change in the future, especially if someone comes up with a system where the content creator keeps more of the money than the platform. But it doesn't stop the main problem, false reporting. That's the reason why you take names. And you look into the report. If the person that reports it does not hold the copyright, then they can't file a copyright strike. And if the video is transformative, end of story. You give the content creator that got the strike the name, so they can sue that person for loss of income. I'm basically saying get rid of anonymous reporting. Have the person who's doing the report put their name in. That ends false reporting. Because if you put your name in, you're opening yourself up for a lawsuit. In other words, your system is shit. It's been shit for over 10 years. Maybe it's time for you to update it so content creators can fight back against false reporting. Don't say they can go file a lawsuit if the guy who's making the false report fights the claim that nothing's wrong. Why are you protecting the guy? He owns the copyright. Give their legal name. Prove it's them. Prove it's actually their content. And if they're repeatedly doing this, ban them from your damn platform because all they're doing is raising hell and making more work for you. Get rid of the nuisance. So you lose what? Maybe out of the 10 billion people who come to YouTube, you may lose what? 100,000? I think you can absorb that. Google's AI once again and asks, how does YouTube monitor content? Oh, we got guideline, automated system, and machine learning. Okay, let's face facts. The machine learning thing is retarded. It hasn't learned dick. The main thing, however, in most cases, an automated system flags the content for a human to review before any action is taken. Human reviewers. Trained human reviewers are essential to moderation process. Well, these human reviewers suck because they have biases. They're not professional. They don't know how to be neutral. They don't know how to read some pretty blatant things in terms of service that are spelled out and go, oh, that's right, especially when it comes to sexual content. It doesn't matter if genitals are available. A child above the age of 10 can kind of figure out what the fuck is going on. Children are exposed to more sexual material today than ever before. You want to know why? There's this thing, YouTube, maybe you've heard of it. It's called the internet. Look it up. Maybe you start to understand that children are exposed to a lot of things on the internet. I have to speak slowly so maybe your retarded machine can learn something. In other words, don't depend on a damn machine. Train your people right. With biases gone, politics gone, gender politics gone. Is it a sexual image? Just because you don't see the tits, you don't see the genitalia, but you can see an ass getting penetrated by a train, how is that not sexual material? A sexual image? Explain that one. Huh? How is that not a sexual image that a child could see? But then again, you've never been concerned about that, have you? Words that will get you demonetized. Words. We're more worried about words than sexual images that children can see. But okay, let's talk about this because this is on the level of stupidity that I can't even phantom a word for it other than just stupid. The greatest American tragedy in our history. You can't say it. Okay. Context is important here. If you're talking about what happened on 9/11, truthfully, and the emotional impact, what's wrong with that? Now, if you're using it in a hurtful manner, I get that. But a machine won't. And some of your human reviewers, well, they can be biased unless you plainly tell them this is the list of how this term is to be used. If it's used to in this manner, remove the content and demonetize the channel for 30 days. I mean, look at, you can't talk about abortion. Abuser. So my videos are, even though it's not going to be monetized since it's a small creator, but my video is not going to be monetized because I said abuser. I said abuser earlier in this video. Context. Something a machine can't do. And sometimes, a lot of times, that you human reviewers can't deal with. There's a lot of words on here. I think there's, if we go all the way down, I mean, look at this. Zulu. You can't say Zulu? An historical event? You can't say that? That brings up a valid point that YouTube needs to learn. Okay, there is a channel that discusses historical events. They can't use the word Holocaust to talk about the Holocaust, an actual historical event. They didn't use the word because they are afraid of being demonetized. Because YouTube doesn't know the meaning of the word context matters. If they're talking about a historical event, why can't they use the word? Maybe you need to clarify some things in your terms of service. Now, people are going around using the word pedophile left and right. They accuse people of being pedophiles. Now, understand, pedophiles are people who are committing a crime against children, a sexual crime, and have been convicted, and that's when that term is to be used. If someone is a convicted pedophile and you're doing a story on them, a true crime, you should be able to use the word pedophile. Just like if someone is a serial rapist and you're doing a true crime story on it and how it happened, you should be able to use the word rapist. Not saying those words doesn't make what they did not happen. In fact, it's dangerous that you don't allow them to say those words. I believe in free discussion about these subjects because it will help educate people. But using them as insults or making false accusations, yeah, that's a problem. And if it's reported, there should be immediate and swift actions taken. Demonetize for 30 days, remove the fucking video. If you don't, you're going to be 90 days. And after that, we're going to terminate your channel. We're going to operate on the two-strike rule. Two-strike rule. Strike one, 30 days, no monetization until you fix it. If you don't, strike two, 60 days. An additional 60 days without monetization. Most likely, they'll delete their own channel. But if they don't, it won't be a third strike. Because then we'll automatically delete the channel if you don't fix it. That's the way it should be. Going to 0 to instant termination in certain cases is too extreme. These things can be fixed, especially terminating channels that have full approval of the content creators' content to be on their channel, like VTuber clipping channels. Do some actual work and find the truth. Just don't go to the extreme beforehand. Contact the creator whose videos are being used. If they gave permission, it ends there. You don't even take the videos down until, hey, see this channel. It has all your content in there in short form, and we're talking anywhere from 10 to 20-minute videos. Do you approve of this? Yes, they work for me. Okay, we're verifying. We're gonna make a note, and this won't happen again. Yeah, it will actually be professional, which is something you sorely lack. But let's talk about safety. You know, and I'm not talking about safety so you can get some advertising money. I'm talking about actual safety. Everybody knows Sniper Wolf. She's a large YouTuber. And she got in a conflict with another content creator called Jax Films. And what she do? She went to his house and put it on the internet, jeopardizing this not just his safety, but the safety of his family. So you know what YouTube did? Bam! Demonetized. For 30 days? Nah, not 30 days. Not 30 days. We can't do 30 days. 2 weeks. No. 2 weeks. Not 2 weeks. Not 2 weeks. A week? Nah, no, not gonna do a week. What? We're not gonna say, but most likely we're just gonna do it for 4 days. You talking about safety of the platform? If Sniper Wolf went and did a drive-by of his house and just blasted it with paintballs, would that get her at least a week? I mean, come on. She jeopardized the safety of a fellow content creator, and you don't even demonetize her for a week? Please tell me, how does that make you a safe platform when you won't even punish someone for doing something that puts someone in danger from harm? Really? Okay. You know what? We Me being a content creator on your platform, I know how much you value my personal safety just by this action. You don't care at all because once again, it's all about the money. Sniper Wolf is a large content creator compared to Jax Film. She makes you more money than Jax Film. So we can't have her demonetized for 30 days because you will lose money. You valued the money over personal safety. So don't tell me that you're concerned about the safety of your platform when you do a minuscule punishment like this. It wasn't even on the level of a stub toe. Hey, Sniper Wolf, your punishment is you got to stub your toe on your bed frame. You do that, we're good. It's not even on that level. It's pathetic. And it shows how much you care about your content creators. You should have gotten demonetized for 30 days, period. She jeopardized the safety of a content creator and his family. And you showed how much you cared. You cared about the money. It's all about making sure you get that green piece of paper, right? Because you have to prove me wrong. Then let's talk about somebody else. Now, we're getting into territory where I may say some things that have happened on this platform that may cause some distress among you. And I do apologize, but remember, YouTube allowed it to happen because it was all about the money. Onision, he has been on this platform for a very long time, has posted some disturbing videos of people having mental breakdowns, and says some very awful things about people he had a relationship with. And he was allowed to dehumanize these people by not only videos and his own words. He was allowed to continue this until he got national attention. That's when YouTube took action. Because now they're being made to look bad all across the country because they allowed this to continue for over 10 years. Now, I'm not saying all of you Onision's content was like that, but I'm saying when it happened the first time, why didn't YouTube do anything? Why didn't they step in and say, hey, man, you can't put this on our platform? This is disturbing. Now, if you needed to take a video, fine, but don't put it on our platform. You don't need to have it on our platform to prove that you're innocent, whatever. And don't talk about people the way you have been. They're human beings. If you have an issue, you deal with it off our platform. You don't talk about them on our platform. YouTube allows it to happen. Regardless of who you believe is right or wrong, it shouldn't have been on this platform. YouTube did nothing. If YouTube would have stepped in and demonetized Onision for 30 days and let him know, hey, if you keep doing this, it's going to be 60 days. Then after that, we're going to just straight up terminate your channel and remove all your content. I'm pretty sure Onision would have changed because he wanted the fame, just like every other content creator that gets to his size. He believes he's a celebrity and don't want to lose that because he's still fighting to keep it to this day. Now we're going to get into a subject about a person that's really disgusting. And as we continue on, it's just going to get worse. This is Austin Jones, a convicted pedophile. This is a video that was posted in on June 29th, 2015, where not even 30 seconds in, he admits asking for fans for twerking videos. His underage fans. Because if you looked at who was watching him, it was underage girls, teenagers below the age of 18, minors. So, of course, since he admitted it, YouTube automatically deleted his channel. Not even going the whole monetization route, he put children at risk of being abused and was abusing them. So, YouTube, bam, in 2015, took his channel down. It went on for 4 years. Don't tell me about safety, YouTube. You allow children to be victimized by a predator for 4 years. You didn't do a goddamn thing to protect the safety of those children. And this is after apocalypse, people. For 4 years, Austin Jones was able to get more victims. 6 that we know of from the ages 14 to 15. There were probably more. And YouTube allowed him to do it by not terminating his channel in 2015. You care about safety of children, YouTube? Why did you let him continue creating content for 4 years? He admitted what he was doing. You don't need to wait for him to get arrested. This pervert abused children and used your platform to gather victims like he was plucking apples off a tree, off a low hanging branch called YouTube. Because YouTube didn't give a fuck. And I can prove these to this day, they don't give a fuck about these victims either. Look, his channel is still up. His content is still up. That means his victims may accidentally fall into this channel and see their abuser and be traumatized again with the memories of what he did, what he asked them to do. Don't tell me, YouTube, that you care about the safety of children. Don't tell me that you care about the safety of people. Don't tell me you care about the safety of content creators. Your actions say the opposite. What is wrong with you? Leaving this disgusting human being on your platform. Allow his perverted legacy to remain on your platform. Do you have any humanity? Do you care about the victims at all? Why is his videos still up? Why haven't you done a scorched earth policy on this person? It's bad enough you let it happen for 4 additional years from 2015 to 2019. But after 2019 to now, 2025, you have left his content up on your platform? Why? Don't you give a shit about the victims? Or do you get thrilled to know that a victim may find his content and be traumatized all over again? Is that your goal? Because I want answers to this one. I think every person that posts content on your platform should get an answer from you about why Austin Jones's content is still available on your platform. I think the advertisers should get an answer to why a sexual predator still has content on your channel. This is a convicted pedophile who pled guilty, but his content is still up. I'm sure your almighty advertisers that you want them to rain money on you is so happy to know they're spending money on a platform that keeps a sexual predator's content up. Safety? You are talking about safety? You think clippers, VTuber clippers, jeopardize the safety of your platform? No, you do fine all by yourself. You don't need the clippers' help. Jesus Christ, if my daughter was a victim of Austin Jones and I found out that his content was still up there, so she may possibly come across it, I would get a bunch of fucking lawyers and come right to your doorstep with a piece of paper saying, I'm suing the living fuck out of you. Where's your humanity? Where is just general awareness of your own damn actions? You want us content creators be responsible for the things we do, but you don't take no responsibility when people blatantly break terms of service. You take no responsibility for allowing abusive behavior on your platform, and you take no responsibility for allowing a child predator's content to remain on your platform. Safety? You must be joking. YouTube, you don't care about the safety of anything other than the money you get from advertisers. You don't care about the safety of children. You don't care about the safety of content creators. And you don't care about the safety and the mental well being of the victims of Austin Jones. So don't say the word safety anymore. Just say what you mean. You're concerned about the money you get from advertisers. And I suggest that advertisers take a good look, hard look. Because do you really want to be associated with a platform that approves of rape artwork? That approves putting people in danger of harm when a content creator puts your house on the internet so anybody can find it? And do you want to be associated with a platform that allows a sexual predator of children to allow their content to stay up? I would think I would spend my money someplace else.